I know some people come on early. You. I'm coming right here. Let's see. Did we make it? It's loading. Oh, yes, we're on. Who's going to be the first to comment? Should we play some music? Let's play some more music. Some original tracks. Let people get on here. What's up, John? Man, let me fix my chair. It's a little too straight for me. John, you're the first. I did some more tracks too. How's it sound? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good night, Cleveland. Oh, brother. What's up, John? How are you doing? You ready for the weekend? You were working for the weekend? It sounds really good. I recorded that. This track right here is I recorded with the PRS. I did a bunch. I'll let you hear it. I got some big news too. That's the PRS. Got a little trem in there too. Yeah. I guess I'll wait a little bit into the thing until we get some people on. Should I turn on the? Let me turn this on too. I haven't done that in a while either. What's up, Mechanic Jams? I'm gonna turn the monitor on and see. I got some big news coming. Big news, big news. I guess I could play this while I'm doing that other stuff, getting it on. Let's see. I need an intro, right? Oh, you're just working? I'm not thinking this stuff. What's up, the musical? Allison. That's the big news. I did this track with the PRS. How's everyone doing? What's up, Paul? Oh, yeah, glad I'm on tonight. Yeah, I guess I can tell you guys to start off. So Gabriel Cologne from Lynch Mob, who finished out the Lynch Mob tour with George, he is actually going to play with me, Dave, and Patrick, and we revive one of Dave's old bands, which is called War Pigs, a tribute to Ozzy and Dio. It's a Black Sabbath tribute, and they play Dio and Ozzy songs on top of it. And Gabe from Lynch Mob is going to sing. While we're waiting to get some other stuff going with the Legends tour, I'm like, bro, we got to do something. I can't just keep sitting around waiting for a singer. Gabe's in the wings, Terry from XYZ. I said, let's just ask Gabe if he wants to do that. And he said, I could definitely do something like that. So that's good news for us. We get to do like a club tour, maybe, which would be better for a lot of people. And we don't have to worry so much with the booking stuff as big promoters, although we'd like to make a little bit of money. But that would get us probably around the United States. At 65, it's 6:55 in Nashville. What time is it here? It's about almost 8. So that'd be good news. We can travel. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, John. Do they like Sabbath out there? Sabbath in Nashville. It's a lot of names in one band to do that. Gabe Lynch Mob, me Expose, Rat Quiet Riot. Then you got Patrick, fucking a million bands. He's like Dave. Dave's got all those bands. Dave's out of town. I called him. I said, hey, Gabe's in. He said, yes. I don't know. Gabriel Cologne, he's a really good singer. Young kid. I don't know why George ain't using him more either. Me and him hit it off at the last show. He's cool. He's funny. He's a funny kid. I call him a kid, but he's probably like 30. Allison, is it Friday or Saturday there? Is it a day ahead or a day behind? Ooh, 5 p.m. Oregon. Nice, nice, nice. So that song, I haven't released those. Yeah, I know once you hit 40, everyone's a kid. That song there was just a couple chords. Saturday, wow. 78. Yeah. I think yeah, Tom. He's funny, right? He's a character. Me and him get along. So yeah, we got Gabe. We're gonna. Dave had an old band called War Pigs, which was an Ozzy Dio Sabbath tribute thing, and it was really popular. The singer stopped, and the guitar player had moved away. Um, but I said, "Hey, we got Gabriel from Lynch Mob. He sings Dio and all that shit really good. Let's ask him if he wants to revive this thing and we can revive War Pigs." I said, but instead of the old drummer you had, it's me, you, and Patrick and Gabe. You got 4 names in the business. That should be a fucking huge draw. Yeah, man, absolutely. And I hope that helps the non-believer people. the, Gus has burst believer. I got non-believer people. The world's still here tomorrow. That's funny. Too funny. Yeah, yeah, he's a really cool dude. I don't know your name. W.J. Cooper. Yeah, he's a character. Like I said, I've known him for like a long time in the music scene around here. And we've always crossed paths and said hi. But we never really became like really good friends until like maybe a year and a half ago. And then we've been playing. And it's a fun thing to do. What's up, Tony? It just turned noon Saturday. Oh, you're jamming now? Impulse buy. Yeah, like we've known each other for a long time. We just weren't friends. And like he said, it was crazy because we both knew Patrick for such a long time. So it's and like Amir told me, he said you need to tell. Hey, what's up, Ben? Yeah, I feel all right today. Not bad. The funny thing about with all that is Amir said your wife walked in and just like hey, and just walked by. I go, it's hard to explain, and I've said this before. When you're friends with a lot of these people, a lot, yeah, we look like we could be brothers. Yeah, wait and look up Gabriel Cologne. He's the last Lynch Mob singer. He's gonna do the War Pigs things with us. So it's me, Gabe, Dave, and Patrick. Patrick don't know we're doing this yet. I can call him. He'll do anything. But I got my buddy Carlos Benitez from Vi and Fonzie. He'll do it to fill in, so we can work them two out because I know they tour a lot. Yeah, I love Kill Switch Engage. I when I heard the Holy Diver, I was that's some cool shit there. Yeah, and I don't. Gabe's really cool. He just told me he moved. Because he lived near me, but now he moved a little bit of ways. But I said that's all right. We're all still at least in Florida, which is kind of cool, you know. But that should be a lot of fun too, you know. And I told him I said we'll do some Dio like solo Dio stuff, Holy Diver and stuff like that, stand up and shout, and then Rainbow in the Dark and stuff, and we'll do some Ozzy like Bark at the Moon and Over the Mountain, and then we'll do a bunch of Sabbath. Joe Mavity. Mariana Fit. No, I don't remember him. Mariana Faith. Mariana Faithfully? Yeah, the Sabbath family tree. And Gabe can sing all that. Maybe we'll do some Lynch Mob too. Dingo. Whatever happened to the riffs from tunes like Just Got Lucky? Yeah, those were the riffs that hooked everybody. And I don't remember a lot of them myself. Like the let's see. Oh, something like that. I have to go back over some of those things. I haven't played a lot of that in a long time. Is it? I forgot all those. What was it? Mariana Faithful, Mick Jagger. Oh, I don't know that. Seems to be missing. Yeah. If you look into the deep purple Black Sabbath family trees, they spent 78 just trading through the same 20 people. Yeah. It's kind of like me. That's why, like, what was funny to me is like Dave's. very into the business too. And what happened is he reiterated a lot of the stuff I've been saying in the past 5 live streams. I'm like, I should have just had him on from the beginning, did one live stream, and he would have said everything that I did. You know what I mean? Like the industry is such a small group of people, and they're doing distribution deals more often. So, but a lot of the guys, like I was saying, that Jordan Steele kid, he's playing with that Blake Whiten. I don't even know how you say his name, but he promotes it as Warner Brothers when it's actually he's not on Warner Brothers. They're just a distribution deal. But I know I guess I just it's not really honest, but it's not really a lie. It's you know what I mean. But a lot of people want to do that. So, but a lot of the guys, like I said, Dave is the real deal. I've been with Atlantic Records for 40 years. A lot of these people, you know, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. No, it's that's a hard subject to get into. Distribution is everything because certain labels are allowed in Walmart and Target through these record labels. If you don't have those labels as a distributor, like Universal Music, you're not going to be pushed in the mainstream markets where you can be sold to a kid. You know what I mean? It's very important to get a good distribution deal. That's actually more important than having a label. You can you can get on a label and they can push you. Distribution. I think a distribution is like a T-shirt. You don't make it, and they're gonna want their cut when they put you on tour. Some band members get around being in a band is like making a marriage work, but they're yeah, and it's usually over money. You know, if you really want to get to know someone really well, you go on a tour bus and live with them for a fucking year. And if you're together after one tour, you did really good. Well, that's the other thing. A lot of guys start to think. Like when I first met Axel, he was a humble, quiet, shy kid before Guns N' Roses. Little quiet, sat in the corner. Then once his ego took off, and then he wanted to be two hours late, and he's Axl Rose and Guns. That shit goes to everyone's head. But like I said, my wife walked by Dave. Hey, how you doing? And just walked. Where the mayor's like, that's the guy from Black Sabbath sitting in your dining room. That's that didn't like baffle her. No, because she's been around it for a long time. So there's no egos here. There's no um, we're just friends. It's like having a friend over. It's no big deal, and that's really important to us. Like me and Dave. After playing for so long and having all that happen to a bunch of us, like I've been on fights with my band members on stage. I, I've I've yelled at all kinds of people on tour. Because you get in these disputes. Like even Expose, the girls wanted more money, so they had to take me to court. We were paying them $200 a show for performance royalty when they weren't even really on the record. So it becomes that well, we're the show now. And Allison's right. These people get these huge egos, you know, and I'm like, you really didn't do anything. You didn't create the music. You didn't really come up with the lyrics. You didn't do nothing. You're just performing. You're basically a hired singer, going through the motions and stuff. It's sad, but that's how it works. But they always want a cut of the people that do the work. Like I told Gabe, I said I have some originals. I said give me your email. I said because we can do a couple originals. I said but this is how it is. I wrote everything. We change it, people get cut in. But if you write the lyrics and you write the melody, it's just 50-50. I split it right down the middle. And then if we write more songs, you know, but if we do it and everybody agrees to it as a band, it goes four way at 25%. You know what I mean? If they don't want part of the original stuff, like Dave and Patrick, then so be it. But if they want in and they contribute, then they all get equal cuts. That's the best way to do it. Like Rush did. All three got equal cuts. Yeah, so like these. Let me see. What else is on there? I'll play you a couple tracks. I did a country rock. And it sounds like Zeppelin meets country. This is the more rock version. Let me see what. Because I have a bunch of tracks on here. I'm going to layer them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Let's see. These are the ones I was going to send them, so they're all in a row. Should be close. That's at the end. Here's another one. Nope. Is that it now? No. That's the end. Ah! This is the other one. You guys heard that before. We'll see. Did I put the other one on here? $30, $40, $50. Let's see, right about there. Yeah, that's the end. I think this is the Zeppelin rock kind of one. Yeah. This one's definitely going to Gabe. Zeppelin meets country rock. You like that one, Dingo? Yeah, that one's going to Gabe. That could be, if he writes the right melody and hook to that could be a hit because it's a different kind of sound. I thought about what would be different in the country rock. I was like a little Zeppelin-ish. Hey, what's up, MT? Mayhem has reached the anger. No, I got tellies. There's the PRS telly over there, and I got one here. I was rewiring this one the other day. Let's see. There's a strap hooked on there. So I got it opened. This is the since I've been writing so long now, does this stuff just come to you? Yeah. I get like an idea and then it just keeps going with the chords with the how I teach you guys, and then it turns into something very fast. Like, and then because over the years I've been programmed to write so fast, under pressure, it's one of those things. So, but you got to remember, yeah, I'll probably go on Glam Hippie tonight. Like if I'm writing and stuff, if I come up with a part, let's see. I might come up with like a rhythm like that, or I might do something even more simple where I'm just going. Or I might do a little, like kind of like a lick. Something like that. So it comes really quick like that. And what happens is, I start laying down the idea and I loop it. And then I might loop it, like I was going. And then I'll be like. The first one, I'll show you. The first one is so simple. It's just like two chords, really. I gotta add that to it. And then I gotta come up with something there. I might put keyboards in there. They're not finished. So then you start messing around like with little licks like that. And then you kind of just come up with those little like leads that make it kind of musical. Yeah, always rhythm first. Always. So what I try to do is I try to come up with a lick. So I might do something like, I came up with this lick. This is kind of cool. So I haven't done anything with this yet. So I'll turn that into a song, and then I'll do something with it so you guys can hear it, but like in the next day or two, and then that way you could see how. So when I'm doing that. See how I kind of work that out like that? And then I might come back and then put something over it, or I'll come up with like little licks with the kind of double stop kind of things, where it's, and I try to fill it out that way when I write, and you can hear I don't play all the famous, that's not needed, not warranted. It's okay to be able to do that, but you hear I play. It just sounds better. It has a better feel. It's more acceptable with a lot of people. You know that you got to be careful. I mean, and that's if you're writing to try to make money. And always I always keep the money aspect in mind, because like even when you work like, Dave is like, Dave is more of a creator, and he doesn't care what it is. He just loves to create. But the thing is, for me, I know that money is always an issue in every fucking band. So I try to write stuff that people will like so that we can make money as a team. I'm the guy that looks out for the other band members, because if they're happy and they go, "Ooh, that song hit a little bit. We're making a little money from that." Then it's good for everybody. I'm the money kind of financial guy, where Patrick and Dave, they make money already, so they want to create, and I'm on the border. You know what I mean? It still has to sound good to people. It has to have a melody. You know. You just said congrats to Double Stop. Dude, double stops and all that stuff are fucking incredible to, just to use as like a little melody in there. You'd be surprised. That's why like in the lessons I say you guys should work, like if you're practicing, work up the scale on two strings. I mean that kind of style of writing, that was the Zeppelin kind of riff. That's what I was playing. Check my text. I can't check it now. Yeah, here's a new song just like that. Yeah, that's what happens. I'll check my text out. So like for you guys that are just coming on, Gabe from Lynch Mob is going to play with me, Dave, and Patrick. We're reviving Dave's old band War Pigs. It's all the tribute to Ozzy and Dio. So we do Over the Mountain and Holy Diver, and then all the Sabbath stuff. So that'll be a lot of fun while we're waiting. And then I'm gonna send Gabe some of this original stuff. So we have like 4 or 5. Maybe we'll do some merch and do a couple originals at the show as well. Because it's hard waiting for. Not that Gabe's not a real good singer. He's just not a huge name. He finished the last Lynch Mob tour. When they were gonna retire. And he's young, so he's marketable. Yeah, we're gonna keep the name War Pigs. Your text is a bit sloppy, but it's okay. Yeah, so War Pigs. War Pigs. I think it's kind of a cool name. Maybe we'll put War Mob. I don't know yet, but we're gonna play definitely a lot of places in Florida, and it'll be more in the smaller bars, because Gabe, even though Gabe has it played with Lynch Mob, he wasn't Oni and didn't write any of that. So we'll have to do something like, I'm thinking more like kind of the clubs like Sabbath Nights is doing, where you're doing like the Crazy Uncle Mike's and stuff, where you're not trying to. You still can try to sell tickets, but more people are likely to go to a bar and hang out and see you for a lower ticket price that Ticketmaster ain't gonna gouge people with. So like you come to a show, it's like 25, 30 bucks at the door. Oh, you played the lead over the first song? Cool. I'll have to check that. Yeah, Sabbath Nights puts on a great show. And we did shows with them. My other band did. And I love Jim Crean. Jim Crean's super nice. His guitar player was great. Vinny was awesome. I was actually trying to get Vinny to play with. I wanted Jim to play with me, Dave, and Vinny, so we would have had half a Sabbath there. First thing your brother ever bought you was Master Reality. Then he thought I was being a jerk. I was wrong. That's funny. Yeah, smaller places. Yeah, so like if you're doing if you can get 400 or 500 people in there, you can make some money. You can walk away with 3 4 grand. You know what I mean? And you book Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then drive up a little more and maybe do a Wednesday show somewhere or a Friday, Saturday somewhere. I mean, you just work up on both sides or zigzag up. Maybe we'll go all the way up from Florida to New York and then cut back down to maybe. All right, actually, we should go Florida up to down to Tennessee, over to Vegas and L.A., and then cut back to New York, and then work our way back down. But we'll see. I don't know who I'll get to book that. I don't know if it'll be Karen or Eric or one of those people. Because even though there's not. Dave has got a big name because he's with Sabbath. Patrick's played with Malmsteen, so it's a pretty big name. I wrote and did everything for everybody, but my claim was the expose stuff, and then doing a lot of stuff for the '80s bands as well. And then you get Gabe, who's younger, who sent the whole Lynch Mob tour when they retired, which was and so you have 4 names in a band from different bands. That I think that's cool too. So I'm interested to see how it would sell. Have your pubs recovered since COVID? Uh, here, yeah. Like we have if you look like there's a place called Crazy Uncle Mike's in Boca. They live stream all their shows. They hold about 1,500 people. And when I play with Sabbath Nights there, we sold that out. We only sold it out there because I grew up here. Yes, so that's the thing. You might bring a guitar tech. Drummers bring a drum tech. Patrick doesn't like drum techs unless you know what I mean. Unless it's a big tour, he'd rather do his own stuff and set it up. But like a bass guitar tech, and he might be a sound engineer and know how to run monitors. So like those guys, but a lot of the places have their own PA already set up there. Like Crazy Uncle Mike, you just show up with your equipment and you're good to go. Sharky, same thing. Big holds 2,000 people in there, maybe a little more, because they got the outside part. Galuppi's is a huge outdoor. It's on city property, but Craig, that owns the restaurant part of that, it's a huge outdoor. You have to have reservations to get in. Yeah, I can't wait to hear his improv over it. I tried to call Deer Creek. He asked me to call him, and he didn't answer. And I believe one of the people that I had an issue with, I'm gonna say his channel's getting taken down this week. my lawyer, my lawyer faxed over a paper to YouTube. So that'll be good. I know Amir wanted me to talk about what was we talking about? He said you should tell those stories. I don't remember what they were now. Was it when I was a kid? Can't remember now. He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to jog my memory. Sucks getting old. I can't remember anything anymore. Barely remember the code to get in my phone. I, need, I do facial recognition on everything now. Yeah, everyone's favorite wife, driving uncle. Yeah, it's usually like an old F-150 van, right, or a 250 cargo van. That's too funny. I know some guys like Brett from Great White when he does the Lynch stuff, he'll drive down. What do I have for acoustics? I had two Martins and a Taylor. I sold them. Now I got a Luna, bamboo Luna. I like that guitar more than any Taylor or Martin I've ever played. Better, my buddies got the Gibson Hummingbirds and stuff like that. I played them. Yeah, I just the bamboo. Not all Lunas sound good to me, but there's something about the bamboo top Luna. It plays and sounds just as good as like a $3,000 acoustic to me. It's kind of like this PRS. That's what's on the recordings. This is the PRS. Like how we no one is gonna know that. I never saw those. I know Leon Todd's talked about those before. It's all bamboo, I believe. Yeah, you gotta check them out. They got great electronics. Got a nice tuner, the 3-band EQ. I really like them. I can pull it off the wall here. Let me see. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. It's way over here in the back. Whoops. Then you guys can hear it. You can hear it yourself. Yeah, so the sides and everything, that's all bamboo. But it sounds good. And there's the electronics right there. Looks like mahogany neck, maybe, or rosewood. Pretty sound, pretty sound. Yeah, it's a beautiful sound. For again, I played a bunch of Lunas. They didn't sound like that. It's something about the bamboo. Yeah, it's a really nice guitar for the money too. I think they were like 3.99 or 4.99 at Guitar Center, and I found a guitar company that was selling it for like 220. It was half the price. Yeah, I had $3,000, $4,000 Martins. They sound equal. I was like, and I don't I this has a the cutout on it was better, like for my hands going up higher. And the notes higher on the Luna, only on the bamboo one, sounded more clear to me, you know. And my buddy just bought the Hummingbird, the acoustic, and the bridge is actually coming off. And I'm like, you should have bought a fucking Luna. $10,000, $8,000 hummingbird, and it's falling apart. Yeah, even some of the higher end Yamahas, like for $500, $600, $800, some of the Yamaha acoustics are unbelievable sounding. The Seagull, the Seagull guitars are good too. So are the Breedloves. Breedloves, the Seagull, Breedloves. Um, what else is there? You get like the older Takaminis and like those kind. If you can find an older one, they sound good too. You just gotta look and then like a lot of people, like one of the guys in the comment was like, you have a lot of money, why are you buying a PRS like that? It has, again, I have to like the way it looks first, but if it doesn't play well or sound well, what good is a beautiful guitar for $5,000 if it sounds like shit and plays like shit? Because all guitars aren't created equal. Guy might come in and wind the pickups while he's hung over, or he's controlling the machine for that. You know, yours was a 12 string. Yeah, the Guild copies are nice too. Like the of the Takamine 12. Bridge fell off your Taylor. Yeah, yeah, and there are some really nice. Like again, Kiesel for me, they're expensive, but I think it's one of the best made guitars that you can get out of the United States. I think that's just my opinion. You know, I'll buy a Kiesel before I buy any Les Paul. You know, and again, I have to really like the Les Paul for it to, like I have expensive Les Pauls and I got one that's $1,600. Yeah, Kiesel mines their own pickups. Their necks are just ungodly to me. Like I've never played a Kiesel with a bad neck. Godin are great too. It was called a Godin Deluxe. It was red. It had like all kinds of cool electronic. I should have bought that. And my buddy, there was a shop called Gear Hero. They were a sponsor of mine when I played, and they asked if I wanted it to. They were moving, so that's a whole weird story. The owner actually sued Pearl Jam and won, and my buddy Tony and Lou worked for them, and I went in there and they, because they knew me, they talked to him and for his company to sponsor, me. So I had sponsors through there, and he would have guys like Billy Sheehan do demos and stuff in there. It was a cool place. They're not doing so good since they moved. I think that was a bad idea. He moved to save money and he lost money because they raised his rent and he didn't want to pay no more. But he was right down the street from Guitar Center, which meant that, and there was Marquee was right in the same plaza where all the top musicians go in the world around here. Yeah, I love the Kiesels, man. I just wish they weren't so much money. Then my wife wouldn't complain so much. But again, you look at the white Kiesel for 4 grand by the time you order it. But if I take that purple Strat, um, that that purple Strat, it's all custom. So you're looking at a USA Strat of 2 grand, and then you put noiseless pickups on there and a Duncan, and then you put a Tatuna with the Floyd on there. You're looking at almost the same amount of a as a Kiesel. I already played songs. You're late, but here, let me fast forward it. I'll get you the Zeppelin country thing that I'm gonna send to Gabriel from Lynch Mob. What's up, Scott? Canada makes some really good guitars. I don't know how. No, I'm just kidding. But again, Canada is very, they got the Canadian maple. So they have, I don't know. I think they have good products up there. Is a Boss what? BD? I can't see that. BD? I don't use a Fender Blues Junior. I use an AC30 for my cleans, and that's in my Kemper now. I don't use any pedals no more. That's the Luna. This is the Luna. Oh, the PRS I got. Yeah, it's like it looks greenish, but it's actually like a blue. It's not quite a turquoise. So that's the Luna. I did that on the Luna. I mean, how would you know that that's not a $4,000 Martin? You wouldn't, because it's digitally processed. Again, amps are only good as you can hear them right next to you. You know what I mean? That tube sound that a lot of people talk about, you got to, like, for me, I've gotten over that idea, because once it gets recorded, it never sounds the same. Because what happens is you get a producer working for a label, and they're going to change the sound to what they like, and it's digitally processed. So your tube sound is not tube no more. Sad to say, but you can never capture a tube amp on audio. There's the Zeppelin song. Zeppelin Country Rock. So it's like this one's like it looks kind of like a green, but it's actually a blue. I don't know if you can see that up close. No, I haven't tried it in that different tuning. I want to put some slide on there, but like I got to retune the guitar to that so I can do slide. But again, like what are these drums? Who's playing that? That's called Virtual Drummer. Would you know that if you listened to it or I told you? No. Only if I tell you. So that's what I mean about the tube sound. Once you get used to not playing with tubes, and because tubes die every single day that you use them, because it's a vacuum sealed and it's pressurized. And when you heat those elements up in the pressure, those tubes are like a battery. Every hour or minute that you use a tube, it depreciates. Yeah, it sounds a little like Cashmere. Yeah, they're fake drums. You know, I just watched the video and Kenny from on my Facebook, Kenny Rhino Earl that played with Man of War goes, the more I learn about these record labels using programmed drums, it's starting to piss me off. I go, 100%. It saves a lot of time in setup. They don't need all those mics, all those cables, all the drums. You can just use Virtual Drummer and it's good enough. And I hate to say it like that, but live, you need a live drummer. You know, so I'm not opposed to having Patrick come in and do drums on that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, do I need to? And I'll let you hear the break on this. you'll see where I want to add stuff. See, and that's the same thing. So I mean, it just depends. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't bias your amp tube though. Yeah, tubes will last pretty long, but like it's the same thing with guitar strings. You know, you get that you there's a point when you have to change them where it loses too much life or it doesn't have that brightness to it anymore. And there's a fine line where you just break them in and they sound good for like a day or two and then you need to change them. Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. If I'll ask him, I'm not going to just say you're out of the recording. I'll say, listen, this is some original material. I'll send this to him to get the track done. But do you want to put your own twist on there? And he might say yes or no, that's good enough. I'll just do it live. Because I'll tell him, listen, if you want to just do a cut of 25 each, I'll put you on as the drummer. And because you're going to play it live differently, I have no problem with that. I'm going through my a Tascam into my Soundcraft mixer into Focus into my phone with my computer laptop here. And my guitar is not plugged into the board, it's plugged into the Tascam. So right now, you hear the Tascam. That's why it has that sound. You know, and I take some of that off. I mean, you're never gonna know that that's not an amp. I almost bought a Schecter Valley Art Sustainiac just for those parts. Because I do like the feedback at like not a big. Hey, what's up, Vinny? What strings do I like now? I like the EVH 10s, which are the same thing as the Diodarios. Yeah, yeah, I do like that. The Rodecaster Pro 2. I like Rode. Rode's got really good stuff, you know. And yeah, if you start the play voltage on the tubes, they get way too hot. But EVH 10s I like. You're welcome, bro. We might be coming up your way. North Carolina bound. Eastbound and down, 18 wheel rolling. It's gonna be called War Pigs, Dave's old band. So it's Patrick from Ingve and Steelheart, Sebastian, all those bands, and then Dave from Sabbath, Great White, White Lion, and then we have me on guitar, but you know I'm a fake, right, Vinny? And then we have Gabrielle Cologne on vocals from Lynch Mob. We're gonna be busting out Ozzy and Dio Sabbath tribute. That'll be fun. Then I get to play some metal, metal. I haven't. I love the metal. Oh, Doc from Sabotage. If we come up that way, yeah, I'll get him on stage, dude. He'll crash out. No, Doc is funny. Yeah, he would, dude. If we do come up there, you gotta go there with a ticket and say, hey, you gotta come to a show with me. Don't tell him it's me. Yeah, Bark at the Moon will play it too. Over the Mountain, Bark at the Moon, Holy Diver, all that stuff, Rainbow in the Dark, Stand Up and Shout, and then all the Sabbath stuff, like Paranoid, Heaven and Hell, Neon Nights, Mob Rules, all that stuff. That'll be funny if you bring Doc. What's up, Amir? Yeah, I just tried one. And it's the Squire Modern Telly with the Duncan P90 with the bar on there. They took it in too high. I'd buy it, but it had the locking tuners, but somebody snapped one off that bar part, and they want $500. It's beat to crap. And I was like, and I told Aaron, well, if you drop this, I go, I'll pay for whatever you paid for it because it needs like $200 worth of work. But the neck on it's phenomenal, and the pickups are phenomenal. I was like, dude, I'll buy this in a minute. Amir, you gotta let me know about you gotta. I forgot all the stories already. You wanted me to talk about the chord trick angle. You have to refresh my memory. Oh, the how I compress chords. Yeah, let me see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it like this. Let's see. Let me see if I can turn this. Let me see if this will work. That was so when you guys play chords, I don't play chords down like this. I compress. That's about my pick and push. Let me see. I can turn it down just a hair more. F flat. I can really compress. It's not. It's, you can almost hear that. So if I turn this off, it's not. It's so there you go. See, that's pinch harmonic, but not to the full extent. It's not. It's more. That's like in the middle of the pickups. If I go back to the beginning edge of the pickup where it starts, that's like an in between. It's almost like in between. So a lot of the stuff that I do is whoops, is picking technique. Don't fall out. Don't fall out. Let's see, turn back and up, up. There we go. But here we go. So a lot of it is like even when I'm here. The screaming pitch harmonics are more in the middle of the pickup. So if I move it back, that's where I get that sustaining. Oh, the Paul Newman story. That's right. 98's a long time. Now you see. So, Paul Newman. So, my dad was a police officer and he became a detective and then a police major. When I was growing up, before Saigon Kick made it, I was a kid, 15, 16, and I had a Roadrunner, 68 Roadrunner, and me and Jason went down to the beach. We used to hang out where my dad was because we're too young, and they had a place called the Parrot Lounge, which is world famous, and Timmy Schiavone that owns that's like a second father to me, and then across the street was a place on the second floor called the Zoo Lounge, and it was packed. And underneath it was a walk-up pizza window. And my dad gave me and Jason from Saigon Kick like $20. He's like, go get some food. And we were standing there, and all of a sudden we feel hands go on our shoulders. He's like, how are you fellas doing tonight? And we both turned, and he's short. So me and Jason's close to my height, and we turned around and we looked down, and it was Paul Newman. He's just smiling like on the dressing bottles. And I looked back and my dad's laughing his ass off. But my dad had a lot of great stories too. Like I was telling Amir, the guy dancing with the sweating to the man. What was his name? Richard. What's the guy that? Not Richard Dreyfuss. The exercise guy that was gay with the curly hair. Richard Simmons. My dad had to do a detail for him, and he was inside the gym in full uniform, standing there, and he grabbed my dad and pulled him out onto the exercise floor with the gun on and the handcuffs, and he made him like exercise in front of everybody with him. Those are funny stories. Now I'm starting to remember. Richard Simmons. And my cousin is married to, well, he was Steve Wynn in Vegas' right-hand man. The Bellagio, Treasure Island, the Wynn. His right-hand man was my cousin's husband. She was beautiful. She moved out to Vegas from here. And she met a pit boss. And while she was car dealing. And they ended up married. And he went all the way to the top. Private planes, lunches, and stuff with De Niro and Pacino, and her brother Carrie, my other cousin, it was Carrie and Carrie, Kim, and Karen actually. And Carrie he was the guy that owned Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. So I have family in the Las Vegas side of show business and the gambling and the casinos that ran many casinos. Funny stories. There's some I can't tell, but yeah, it's part of my family life. Yes, tritones always. Yeah. And usually they're through the arpeggios, which have the triads in there and everything. I do that all the time. And you can see the writing is really basic, but you have to learn all the theory. The hard part of it is learning it, and then once you learn it, you dummy it down to the basics with the tritones and the arpeggios and the triads, and you use them to resolve all the time. Just like that chord, it's from D to G, like in that Zeppelin thing, so it's starting off the G major over here by the triad. G, and then you're using with that as a kind of a turnaround. But like, yeah, I use. And the other thing is that, like I said, working two strings up the scale this way, will help create a lot of more melodic lines. That kind of stuff in picking patterns, just on one note. That's like a scale pattern forward, but with one string. Whoops. And you can go back to the next note, or you can just go from one up. You can create all your patterns off one string, and you can create a lot of melodies. Another triad. Yeah, yeah. Back in with the E. So you're tying it all in too with a relative, like D's to 5 to the 1s too. Yeah, it's very simple but effective. No, I got used to not playing a lot of leads. The record labels don't like it. Live, you can get away with it. Even when you listen to Ozzy live, like with Randy, that's how Randy played. But you listen to the records, he underplays on the records. It's just a thing you get used to. I rather play more melodic on a record because people tend to hear the notes better. Like, people don't. Most people don't have no idea how good of a guitar player anybody is because they don't play. For this stuff, no one really cares. So if I'm going, they might hear, and that don't sound good to them. But if you're going like, stuff like that, people like that a lot more because it's more pleasing to people's ears. And then you save the cool stuff for live and go, oh my god, you got to see this guy. He doesn't play like on the record. That's kind of what threw everybody off with Eddie Van Halen and Hendrix, and so I learned to be more reserved just because of the labels. So like even a lot of the leads are pentatonic stuff. You might hear me go. I might even leave the bends out. A lot of times I leave bends out, like the. Stuff like that. I might do stuff like that. It just it my idea of leads are to add to the song, not stand out. 13 minutes, yeah. Smoke on the Water was 3 minutes on the record and 13 minutes live. Yeah. Yeah, when I first came out, like when I started writing with the labels, I thought they wanted a phenomenal guitar solo and guitar leads, but yeah, country bands let their guitar players loose. Yeah, yeah, it's true. Like that's why I didn't understand why Bad Brad was bashing on Teddy Swims. His guitar player will outplay me. That guy's fucking unbelievable. And then you add it with the Teddy Swims, like that pop soulful vocal and those cool hooks. I lose control. I mean, that's cool shit. And then the guitar player just fucking takes off and rips the lead live. That guy in Teddy Swims is really fucking good. I don't know his name. Oh, you just got your first PRS? Yeah, I want to try a really old PRS now. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how incredibly hard, like, to write a Bark at the Moon with all those leads like that. Even when he was doing the stuff like, I don't remember it now, but like that. I guess I do kind of remember it. You know, going into all those parts and coming up with a solo like that, Jake was incredible. I really appreciate, and that. Yeah, I don't remember all the parts. I have to get. I forget a lot of parts. I don't. My memory isn't what it is. Is that the guy, Jesse Hampton, that shredder guy? I don't know what he plays. I saw him with a pink guitar one time. I've actually written to the labels. I want to write a song for Teddy before I die. I think he's one of the best pop soul singers of my generation. I think he's that good. But like there's a lot of guitar players that got famous. The Albert Lees and you know some of those guys. But they were who's Teddy Swims. You got to look him up. He sings a song Control. But like if you watch him sing, like he goes into bars and stuff and he sings a cappella. He sounds just like the record. So there's no pitch correction and all that shit. He's really good. He's like a national superstar. Look up Teddy Swims live. You'll appreciate it better. There's a show like in London or something he did. It's like 58 minutes. Watch that one. That's what hooked me. That live show. Yeah, and that's where like these young kids too, they don't get it. In Nashville, oh, there's so many talented guitar players. There are. But the record labels don't want you to be talented. They want you to be just good and very efficient and write some cool parts that hook the listener's ear. That whole aspect of you have to be a phenomenal guitar player to write a hit is like I was saying with Dave. You look at the Ramones and stuff. You have to respect. They weren't technically great players. Like the bass player from the Ramones isn't Billy Sheehan, but at the same time, when you get signed and you hit that level, you have to be good at something that you did because you've triggered millions as an influence. Your CD player stuck in 1987. That was a good year. That's when Mr. Big came out, I believe. Yeah, that's why like Dave. I was kind of shocked because I didn't know Dave liked jazz players too, jazz bass players. So I was like Gentle Giant and stuff like that. I was like, what? Kind of freaked me out a little bit. Yeah, yeah, and no one puts the time into the craft to write crafty. So like the whole craft idea, it's being original, but having like so when I did this one, let's see, do I have another version? Yeah, here's the other version. It's a little more rock, faster. So I used a pitch pedal. This one has a long break in it, a little more country. I programmed the drums a little bit different, but I added more rock country stuff. Like the harmonics. So I have this whole breakdown part here that I want to do something. So I had stuff like that You know, it sounds a little like Rush too. Yeah. And then I did a crazy version. You guys want to hear that? That's this one. It's more like vibe. I was like, I want to do an instrumental with it too. Makes me want to fucking headbang. I was like, it's such a cool rhythm. I was like, can I do like a Vi kind of thing where it's aggressive? You know, if I wanted to put something on there like with guitar, just guitars. The L Rock, thanks. Yeah, like that's the problem I have though. I get an idea and I'm like, what if I turn this into, or I use a pitch pedal, and I was like, I don't want to ruin that other track and do a guitar. Let me just redo the whole track and then add something else and see what I could get out of it. All right, Paul. You too, man. Have a good night, brother. What is it? I can see 9, or it's only 9. So I've been on an hour. Yeah, I won't do a whole lot tonight, but yeah. So it's really cool that you can do. So then I was like, man, I was like, it kind of reminds me of almost like the old the Flexible album when I was kind of playing it. So I was like, I wonder if I could do like a vibe, like an aggressive rock track, and just put some solos over it, just for me. Because I probably have, I don't even know how many songs that are unpublished. You loved it. You were waiting for the months after they announced they were coming. What? Which one? The What did I miss? What did I miss? Through a Hammond B3. Yeah, I thought about some of that stuff. I was like, I might add some piano and stuff. A Hammond would be cool. And I thought about doing the Hammond with the fucking Eddie Van Halen thing and run it through the Kemper with some overdrive and some cool pitch delays. I was like, I could get some really cool sounds out of there. Same thing about like some of the slide stuff I want to add. There's a rhythm backing track to the other ones that I need to put in there. They're just like the beginning stages of it. Yeah. Yeah, and I use a slicer pedal on one of them. I've done this. Where is it? You'll hear tapping in there. Right there. So I use a slicer pedal in there too. and weird pickups. Yeah, dude, I have them. They're all on tape. Most of my songs are in my phone or on the mixer, but I have a lot of songs on. He'll have to buy a reel to reel. I don't have no more. I got some old reel to reels, but not for that. That's like the old inch and a half tape. Like the big studio stuff. The pickups are branded Squire. I just played one of it was like a Super Strat Squire with the reverse headstock and it had the P90s in there. It played like shit. Yeah, the other bluesy country one. Yeah, I might. I'm gonna do something with that. Yeah, I play bass on the tracks. The basic guitar in the like a guitar with some leads. There's maybe like only three tracks, like maybe a lead. Sometimes I harmonize, like little parts of stuff, and then the basic track. But I still need to do some more rhythm tracks and stuff on there. Just to, I know it sounds good now, but I like to make it sound really huge, like with like like even on the first one. Let's see, like this one. So like if I was to put another rhythm on here. So I look at chords. So you start looking at chords and like maybe uh triad. Newly designed single coils. The white one. What is it? Wait, don't buy it. What is it? I can't go on reverb. Buy me one. Whatever. I'm missing out. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, and if you start doing a lot of tracks, you'll get used to kicking them out quick and then while you're doing, you're like, well, this is really cool, but what if? Yeah, you just lyrics pop in your head. Yeah, I don't even know. Now, see, lyrics I'm out of touch with. I used to write a lot of lyrics, but I don't do that no more. My sister, who's a cop, she's actually a published poet. She got in books. I used to ask her for her lyrics to turn them into songs, and she told me to piss off. The riff, that's the easiest part for me, coming up with the riff first. Because like I noodle so much, so like if I'm just going, and I think simple tie-in chords like see like stuff, and I like stop using like that stop method a lot too, like there's all kinds of stuff you can do. I mean, it kind of like noodling, really. Hallmark cards. Yeah, I've done a couple jingles. Best paying gig you'll ever get. 15 seconds for 10 grand. Yeah, yeah, and you can combine stuff. Like if I do like bluesy stuff, like so I might that little country lick. Oh, the PRS, yeah. Yeah, I really like this guitar. It's good for me. Yeah, I just like the sound of it, and like it sounds great on the track. This is it on a track. It just sounds really good. Already taken. Yeah, the Esteban Toledo guy during the WWF. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, yeah, they play easy. I mean, it's a great guitar for the money, and I like the idea of having. I wish this had a toggle instead of a pull up. A toggle to split coil is a lot easier live for me than to actually pull up on something. I wonder if I can take this, change that, and put a toggle in there or something. Toggles are much easier. Yeah, it's just this guitar. And I wasn't a big fan of their pickups. I don't, they said these are different kind of pickups. Just feels good. Not too heavy, but it's got a little weight to it. And I went back today to look at some more guitars, believe it or not, and I was like, I went just to make sure I did the right thing, because I always try to look at some of the older models of the same one, and I was like, they just don't feel the same. I don't know what the actual change is. You know, I can see so like the headstocks and the covers and the pickups, but it just they look and feel different to me than the other models of it. They had a semi hollow one that I played too that was really nice. It was like kind of like this, but it was a charcoal black that had that felt really good too. All right, Tom. Yeah, man. I'll see if I can get Patrick on here. I asked my buddy Phil if he's in town to come on too. He's in a band called Malevolent Creation. They're a big metal band that's been around forever. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's the newer ones like the NF 53 and this is a newer one. I think they've stepped their game up is in my opinion, like, and I'm glad to see somebody actually step the game up in the lower end, like 1,000 and under kind of guitars. I know that would probably cost you with tax probably about 1,100 bucks, but I mean it's hard to get I mean it used to be really hard to get something. You know, like my Les Paul that I bought, my parents bought me in 80, 1980, 83. They paid $1,200 for that thing with a case, Les Paul Standard, gold top, and it was an anniversary. It was the 25th anniversary. I should have kept that. It's like a kid, I foolishly got rid of it. That's my one of my biggest regrets. Uh, we have a couple of them, don't we? That's how you learn, though. In life, you make mistakes, and then you learn. No matter what they, I see it all the time with the younger kids in the music. Yeah, that was a bad move, bro. You know, and then when my mom passed, I felt really bad because I was like, man, she went out of her way to get me that, and I was just a stupid kid. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest regrets I had was that Les Paul. You know, you can recover from a drug arrest, but you can't recover from something your mom went out on the line for. You know what I mean? So a lot of you guys probably haven't heard. I know some of you have been, but so what's happened is Dave from Black Sabbath had a band called War Pigs. He talked about it the other night because I asked what happened to Tim. He was a good singer, and And so I was like, I talked to him today. I was like, dude, why don't we, since we're waiting, why don't we revive War Pigs? Me, you, and Patrick this time. And I said, let me reach out to Gabe from Lynch Mob, and he's like, yeah, I can do that. I'd love to do that. So it's gonna be Gabriel Cologne from Lynch Mob, Dave, me, and Patrick doing a tribute to the Black Sabbath days with Ozzy and Dio, and doing some of their singles. Oh yeah, you've been trying to back by the guitars you had as a kid. John said, I didn't think I'm learning too much. I keep making mistakes, sometimes the same ones. Rock and roll's prisoners. Yeah. Some people that's another thing. I was watching sometimes we make mistakes out because we're addicted to something too. So like I was watching this kid, you know, he he got busted and they said, "Listen, you'll go home and we if you keep your nose clean, we won't go so hard on you." And he did it again. And he knew they were watching him. What's cooler than Sabbath? Yeah, not too much. And we'll travel with that too. I gotta see who we can get to book that. But like more like the bigger clubs. You know, like clubs that hold 1,000 to 1,500 people. That will be a lot of fun. And Gabe's a great singer. He does the Sabbath and Dio stuff. Megalomania. Yeah, Dave's out of town right now. I was like, dude, did you come up with a name for me yet? He's like, nah, I'll work on it. Chris, the your favorite Sabbath? Yeah, I like the Sabbath with Dio a lot too. I like Heaven and Hell, Neon Nights, Mob Rules. For me, those they were a little heavier. Oh no, here we go again. Oh no no. Ozzy was cool just because it was different too. Down 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 down. I have to start learning some of the Dio stuff. You been in a hospital with blood clots in your leg? God damn, bro. Feel better, Ben. I'd kill those songs. You mean bomb them? Kill? No, I'm just kidding. What's up, Adam? Yeah, I think. Oh, well, I was telling earlier that I think we'll go up to Florida and loop around like North Carolina, South Carolina, and then come through like Tennessee and over to Texas up into um like Vegas into LA, and then maybe just get from there a flyover to New York and then work our way back down the coast. That would be fun. Yeah, that'll be a cool band. Could even, I mean, Gabe was in Lynch Mob. We could do some Lynch Mob stuff too. Just throw in one or two of Lynch Mob. I don't remember any Lynch Mob stuff. Just kind of like the. I forgot that last chord. I have to relearn all that. I might have fuel to get back. I could sell all my stuff. Ain't that what we always do? Whoops. Yeah, nice. Busk on the way home. Super not. You passed all the info to Amir. Cool. Play the gig, Busk. I might. You got to sing the Busk, don't you? Let's see. Let's see. I forgot how that goes too. I'd have to fake my way through songs. I'd probably have to pay somebody else after I got done playing. You're only young, but you're gonna die. I don't think I can sing a full song by myself and play guitar. I've never tried it. Two oil refiners. No worries, man. I'll take a listen to it when I'm done. Australia has two oil refineries. One in the state of Victoria caught fire 2 days ago. Oh, really? Was it a stray missile from Iran? Iran? No. It'd be way off, wouldn't it? I'd have to look. I don't even know how far Iran is from you guys, to be honest. I know it's near Israel and all that, but it's a little in near Turkey. But I think you got then you got North Korea. You're still pretty far away from that. The guitar player for Vandal, that was a great band. He's in Disturbed now. Huh. I used to see Vandal at They play the Buttons Out, but where did I saw them all the time at Metal Mondays? What was the name of that place? Our Sax Playpen South turned into a strip bar. No, we don't. Oh yeah. Oh, do they put? Oh, I misread that. Really? Like, how much is a gallon of gas in Australia? Whoops. $11 a gallon? Oh, it's by the liter. Jesus. I'd be driving around with amps and guitars on my back. Be driving an electric scooter. I know. Holy shit. $11 a liter. I couldn't afford to live there. Oh, it's around 5 liters to the gallon. So it's $3 a liter there. So so $3 times 5 liters is a gallon. That's $15 around. Jesus. Yeah, I'd be hightailing out of there. Yeah. What do you do out there, Allison? Do you have like what do you do for work? Is it hard out there to live? I my friend's father moved out there a long time ago, and like if you moved in from another country a long time ago, you had to have like over $1 million of income or something to move to Australia. It was like weird. I can't remember. It was really weird to move there, but he's been living there a long time. Yeah, and that's like another thing because the Earth is round, so like Florida is like on the outside of that edge of the equator, like at the tip of the outside of where the Earth is the fattest and the round part, and like Australia is like just under that a little bit, so it's a little bit cooler there. That's what I was told. Better saddle a kangaroo. That's crazy. Is it hard to live out there? You're a trained counselor, but jack of all trades, been a tour guide, kung fu instructor, legal firms, you name it. Well, that's cool. You know why? Oh, you didn't get vaxxed? I didn't get vaxxed either. I told my dad because he was old. I said I don't know what this is. I said I don't trust any of it because you know doctors weren't really saying anything. And my sister was in pharmaceutical industry at that time, and she was like, "Don't do it." I was like, "Why?" So her explanation was Pfizer's paid out in more lawsuits than all the pharmaceutical companies combined. And I was like, "What?" She said, "Don't do it." That was my reasoning. Plus, I'm diabetic, and I didn't think that I was a good thing. My wife didn't get vax. My kid didn't, but my dad got vax. Her dad got vax. Her dad died right after the vax. Hmm. We had a bunch of people here died after the vax. Two of our, one of my family members and one of her family members ended up with Bell's palsy, like within a year. How real is like all that vax stuff? Who knows? Who knows what the long term effect is? It's like all these new drugs that come out and they get approved. You still don't know what the long term effect is because 10 years hasn't passed yet. You don't ride your kangaroos. You're not 6'7" out there. I watched some videos where people try to fuck with those kangaroos and like around certain places. Man, those things don't play around. They'll kick the shit out of you. I've seen some. I've seen some videos with kangaroos. I ain't messing with those. Yeah, they're like beefed out. They're like Tyson on steroids. Then they're all named Joey. Don't fuck with Joey. He'll fucking uppercut you and kick you in your balls. Those kangaroos are 6'7". Yeah. Oh, well, for me, it didn't matter. My wife's in the medical. She didn't. She didn't do it, but they didn't make her do it either. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of military here and everything. Yeah, and I know a couple of people that died from COVID for real. Like they caught it for real. I had COVID before they knew what it was. My wife, and my kid ended up in the hospital all at the same time. She got really sick because she has Graves' disease, but they didn't know. They like no one knew what it was. It was in October before that hit, and she was in there for a week. And then I was with him. He started throwing up on the playground, and then I started sweating and getting dizzy. I drove us both to the hospital. They wanted to separate us. I said, "Fuck no, you ain't. If I die, he's. I want to see him when I go." No sharks or crocs in the backyard. Oh, that's right. You guys get those salt crocs over there too. Yeah, Rick Springfield. He's got a weird story too. I Something happened with him that they hid. I forgot what it is. Was like a murder or a death, something involving him, or a gun shootout when before. Oh, your wife didn't do it either. Yeah. Some people did actually die from COVID. But it's like pneumonia. People die from that every year too. Like when if they get it, like so. I do know this. You have millions of different bacteria in your body, and it depends what the virus, this bacteria that it attaches to, because it needs a host. And you have really bad bacteria and so bacteria and okay bacteria. It depends what that virus attaches to. And then if it gets one of those really bad bacteria, you will get sick and die. That's a weird thing. Sorry for your loss, bro. Yeah. Now my dad got vaxxed too. He's okay. He's in his 80s. I said, Dad, at your age, it's not. You've had a great life, so just do it. He was like around 80, I think, at the time. I was like, if it kills you, it kills you. I mean, you had a good run. Who gives a shit? You, you're better safe than sorry. At that age. Yeah, I got pretty sick from it too because I'm diabetic. But they didn't know what to do for us because they didn't know it was COVID. But what they did do is by the time January hit, they asked us to come back and test, and that's when they were testing for that antibody stuff, and they asked if we would give blood. I was like, yeah, well, sure. Yeah, that's the thing. Your body tries to fight, and that was the other thing I read about it. I can't remember the exact what I read now, but it was, what was it, like 80% of the people that had problems from COVID were like around 58 and above, and they were deficient in vitamin D or something. Something weird. Yeah, that ruined the planet. I really think it did. Yeah, the healthcare guys, everybody from healthcare had to take that, especially here. They were forcing people. Oh yeah, dude, that's the thing. My kid, he's only 10, so he's building his immune system. So I get sick all the time with him because I'm 60 and I got like all these issues now. So when they cut me open and took out my part of the stomach and stuff, they took 5 lymph nodes out. That does mess with your immune system, and then on top of it, diabetic. So they put me on like a testosterone gel to kind of up everything, and I take certain medications for certain things. But I'll tell you, the gabapentin's been helping a lot. My wife's like, that and Ozempic. She's like, but you're gonna go bald. I'm like, whatever. I'll wear a fucking wig. I got no shame. If I can go out on a stage in custom skinny jeans and like sleeveless shirts, I think I'm okay with a wig. Yeah, that's the other thing. Kids who got it, yeah. You drink 3 vodka and cranberries. Feels like you're at a party with new friends. Yeah. Next time you get COVID, Amir, just snort it. Snort the vodka. Don't do that. I'm just joking. That'd burn like a bitch, wouldn't it? Oof. Yeah. You're at home, right, Amir? Yeah. Your brother? Oh, your mom died. Me and Michael don't get along though. We had words. I've had so I guess I could tell you who some people I've met that I don't get along with. Michelangelo Battio is one of them. CC DeVille's another. I almost knocked him out one night. I was I was oh yeah. Yeah, my mom too. That was weird. I was in I was on tour and I was in Orlando and I was with a friend of mine, John, and we went into a club and we knew people and the doors were locked. No, this was the CC one. So we walk in and we were kind of dressed up and you know the hair was done and stuff and he had longer hair than me and back then you know you sprayed it up and teased it out a little bit. It wasn't quite the 80s but it was like in the 90s and early 90s and we walked in and we walked right to the bathroom so we both had to piss. I'm in the and I remember walking in, hey, you fucking guys think you're fucking cool. And like we didn't pay no attention because the band was playing. We got in the bathroom, and I could hear him, and he starts playing a solo, and I go, God damn, that sounds like CC DeVille. Those notes he's ending on, and I was like, what the fuck? So then we walk back out, and it's him on stage. Yeah, you two motherfuckers right there. He stopped the thing. Yeah, you think you're really fucking cool with your hair and your fucking snakeskin boots and everything? He was like really fucked up. And I looked at John, I go, he's gonna get his ass beat. And we ignored him for most of the thing. And then we went outside at closing because it was almost closing time. And he walked out. And he was like this fucking big on me. And I looked down at him and he was with a girl. I go, say that again right now, motherfucker. So that's my funny CC DeVille story. Yeah, dude, he's like the size of my 10-year-old. Like I was like, this motherfucker, and like he came out with his arm like all fucked up, and then he looked up at me, and I just looked at him. I go, say something now, motherfucker. And I was like, look, I was literally looking down. He must have came up like right under my chest. He was really fucked up. That was that one. Michelangelo was. I had words with him over stuff, and then I tell the story, and he ended up joining my buddy's band, Manowar. Both drummers I know from Manowar, and this motherfucker's in the band now. I'm like, are you shitting me? But Michael, Amir's got some funny stories about him too. But he's got issues. That guy. But again, all these great shredders that thought they were great technical players, they have chips on their shoulders from their playing, but they end up with no money because they don't realize melody is fucking 50% of the royalty right off the top. And that's kind of why I write the way I do now. Yeah. Dubai was locked down pretty hard too. So in Dubai, you had to make an appointment with the police department. They would come to your house and take you to the grocery store and then take you back home. That's fucked up. You had to make an appointment to go to the grocery store. Carry on. Man of War songs, yeah. That was a great band. So, Kenny, the guy I was talking about when I commented earlier on Facebook about the program drums, that's Kenny Rhino Earl from Manowar. That's who I was talking to. He was so mad that he's finding out all these record labels are using program drums, and I go 100%. He's like, that really pisses me off. Kenny's a great drummer. Donnie too. I prefer to play with Kenny though. Really? A bad curly imitation? Did he lift his wig up? I've gotten asked if my hair's a wig, like out, because it's so long. I don't know if you guys saw when I was sitting down with Dave when I sat down. It's long. It needs cut though. It's getting bad. I haven't cut it in a while. But people are like, "Is that a wig?" I'm like, "No." What? You should see the kids at my kids' school when I go for the teacher parent thing with the kids in there. They'll ask him, Why does your dad look like a mom?" Your dad looks like a mom. I used to get that a lot when he was like in third grade. He plays a little guitar, but he rather play keyboards and piano. I've been teaching him Bohemian Rhapsody on piano. He might snap. We had two schools get locked down yesterday in the same area. One was in Coral Springs and one was in Coconut Creek. One was a BB gun, and I haven't found out about the other one. But that's insane. Oh, it was a false alarm. The problem was the one in Coral Springs. They were saying all the kids ran across the street, like half the school ran out in front of cars. I'm like, and then I there was a kid today I talked to, and he said that had happened last year as well. And I said to him, well, why would if the kids ran out last year and did the same thing and it happened again this year, what if that was a setup? Didn't you guys think of that? Teach him some Maiden. You know who his favorite band is? System of a Down. Everybody going to the party, have a real good. Dum, 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 dum. Everybody. He loves that song. He thinks it's fucking cool because of the changes in it. He gets mad at the. I told him I tried to teach him Bohemian Rhapsody, but I was teaching him the hard way with the full chords on both hands. But then I realized he doesn't have the stretch for that and cross over. So I just taught him it with one hand, like the melody part, making it real easy. Yeah, no, Amir was funny. Yeah, would you ask me? Oh, when my wife walked by, but my kid walked by too. Hey, what's up? But he's met Dave before. Oh, you know what you guys got to look up on YouTube? Speaking of Maiden, is it called Paw Maiden? Maiden Paw? I think PAW. Someone did AI with dogs playing Iron Maiden songs. It's un. It's my dog was like, it's hilarious. Sugar, yeah. I like System of a Down a lot because we had so many metal bands over here, and they came. Of course they grew up. Some of them grew up over here, like LA and stuff, but they were so different to me. One octave hand, that's a pretty big stretch. Yeah, my stretch is big, but it's starting to hurt my knuckle. It feels like it's healing now because I do a lot of big stretches. But I don't know if you guys saw. I'm a pretty big guy. Like when you saw me next to Dave, but like I haven't tried the PRS 5 to 12. Yeah, that's pretty comfortable for me. Some of the necks are a little bigger, longer. Yeah, but that's still a pretty good stretch because that's what he's having trouble. So he's 10, but he's 5 foot tall. So you're probably what, 5'5", 5'4"? You'll be about close to the same size as him. Tiny hands, huge heart. That was awesome, Amir. Get that one too. 55. I don't know how far that is. 168. Huge hands and short fingers. Oh, you're my height. I got monkey paws though. I got huge. I got big hands. I used to love all those songs. I don't know how to love all of them. I think I could maybe play. I used to like. What was the one that they did? Midnight. No, it wasn't that one. Dun 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 dun. Fly like it. Dun 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 dun. Man, I don't remember the name of that. I forget that one. Run, dude. Yeah. When I run the Kemper at home, is it running through a regular cab? No, it's going straight into the Tascam. That's all the Kemper. The rack one that I run in the cabs is underneath it. So there's two Kempers. Yeah, let me see. I don't know if I showed you guys before. Let's see if you guys can see it now. So this is the rack. Can I push it back? Yeah. So this is the rack one down there. And that's the VHT power amp. So these will run into cabs, but this one right now is running direct. So this is on with that pedal going direct into it. Flight of Icarus. That's it. I don't remember how to play that. I'm gonna have to relearn that. That's a great song. Bam, bam. I don't even remember the notes anymore. Like, I can't hear it. I'll have to listen to that. That's one of my favorite. Flight of Icarus was one of my favorite songs. Can I Play with Madness? That's a great one too. Man, I forgot about that one. What's his name was just here? Steve Harris. He's got like a tribute band or something. I don't know what he's doing, but he just played here too. They have the Monsters of Rock cruise not far from me. You can see my stringy hair starting to thin out at the bottom, huh? Now you can kind of see how long it is. Yeah, Nico's physically not able to play anymore. After he had that heart attack, he wasn't doing good. I did a benefit for Big 105, our radio station, and it was at a golf course, like for family family matters. It's like for um, families that are going through like cancer treatments and stuff like that. And Nico was there, but he didn't make it the 9 holes. Nico's a great guy too. He lives close to me. Let's see. Yeah, so the Kemper is going right into the Tascam, but from the Tascam it's going through my Soundcraft mixing board, which is going into the Scarlett into the phone. Wasted Years is great too. So what I'm looking at to answer you guys. So the phone's up on top and my laptop's in front of me. Oh, really? Yeah, and who knows? I don't know. Nico probably had to get the jab too if he was flying on planes, right, into other countries, touring, maybe. So who knows? I don't know it. No one even had thought of that either until I just thought of that now. Rock and roll ribs. That sounds that's not forward for me. Yeah, he's got a titanium tarts. He already did a couple shows. Christopher Cross. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. Who knows? You know what I mean? With all those, with everything that goes on, it's only as good as what they tell us, I guess. You got to trust the medical or the government, which you know, God only knows. Whoops, stay in there. Oh, you want to fall on me again? You want to fall on me again? Fly to the sky like an eagle. Yeah, it feels great. I don't think it's as good as Vivian. Let's see. Let's Man, I forgot all those. Yeah, Pfizer had the most loss. Pfizer has the most. So Pfizer has paid out more than all the pharmaceutical companies combined in lawsuits. That's what stopped me from getting it. And my stepsister was in the industry. She quit after that. She was so disgusted. So when I had COVID, like the third or fourth time, I go, "Is there something I can take?" She's like, "I'll bring you something over." So she said, "I'll knock on the door and leave it." So I go and open the door, and what do I see on the fucking ground? Black elderberry and chicken noodle soup. I call her up. I go, "You fucking kidding me?" She goes, "That's what I give my kids when they get sick with the COVID." I took it and knocked it right out. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, I think natural's the best. The body's very resilient. It was designed. It was designed to with it, natural antibodies. Yeah. Well, like I said, my uncle that I take care of, he's 99. He's going on 100. He's traveled the world. He's never been in the hospital for having the flu or a cold. He's never been sick, not once. That's amazing. I'm probably gonna hit the bed. I'm getting pretty tired. 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 out of 25. Yeah. You guys want me to just go to bed and leave the live stream up so you guys can talk? Yeah. Yeah, just type a musical 12, a musical 12, a musical, uh, a. No, no, it's all right. I'm getting tired. I've been up early. I had to do a lot of stuff. Oh, you know what else I heard today too? That if you have a lot of subscribers and they haven't watched the video, like if you've done like 100 videos and they haven't been on in like 25 videos, YouTube's starting to scrub to your subscribers. I didn't know that. They're saying that there's some got people that are losing 50 to 200 subscribers a week. That's insane. The Harp twins. I watched the Hodge twins. Those two black twins guys. They're funny. The Hodge twins. Harp twins. I don't know them. I'll probably go watch the Glam Hippie. He's got a live stream coming on. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of the bots. Two sisters. Is that what you look them up as? Harp twins? Thompson twins. That's a good one. The Hodge twins. Yeah, I like that they razz each other. That's funny to me. You know, the Hodge twins. It's entertaining. The Harp twins. I'm gonna have to check them out too. Yeah, you know, I should get Dave back on here too, and when he comes back, and have you guys call out songs. Yeah, the Glam Hippie. He's he just plays guitar, but like I saw him, he had hair like me. He's younger than me, and I was like, holy shit, another guy like that. But he was playing like Queensryche and some metal covers. He was pretty cool, so I subbed him. You know, just to support another fellow guitar player playing like metal. Oh yeah, they give a lot of shit away. The Hodge twins, like $10,000 in a new Tundra or F-150. They're crazy. I don't know how they do that, but they give a lot of stuff away. But it must be the sponsors because you don't you get like I don't know maybe $1,000 for a million views maybe. But if you have a channel that's like 30 million views and 20 million views, and you can make money on YouTube. I ever said if the channel got that big, I would monetize it, and I would just put the money I would get every month. I would just put on a credit card and do a giveaway every month. If I made like 20 grand, I'd just maybe even put it on like say four credit cards of $5,000, like gift cards. Just give it away. Black metal, I listen to some of it. I try not to take it for what it is, but I like some of the black metal bands. Merciful Fate and those kind. Who's the guy I subbed? I don't know who he is. It's called the Glam Hippie. He's gonna do a live stream tonight. You make 30 cents per thousand views. Yeah, death metal. Yeah, some of them I listen to. I'm trying to get my buddy Phil. He's in a really big metal band. They're called Malevolent Creation. They're like one of those death metal bands, but they're popular. They've been around for like 30 years. We grew up as kids together. He golfs too, Phil. He just came back from Europe and got sick. He had to go to my wife's work. He had like pneumonia or something from another country. Glam hippie, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool because he does like songs that you don't expect him to do, and he just plays. Yeah, Phil X is a nice guy. He's a good player too. He played with my buddy Kenny Reiner Earl with Billy Sheehan of Bon Jovi's club in actually Nashville not long ago. And I had told Tom and all those guys, if you really want to find out who I am, go to the show and ask Kenny Reiner Earl or Billy Sheehan or Phil X. They all know me. It's a funny thing, you know. I try not to bring those guys in all the time that are my friends because, again, it's hard. Friends are friends, like if I play with them, but it's hard if I'm not around them all the time. Like George Lynch, he would sit down with me because I've known him forever, but that could go sideways south because he's not a people person. You know what I mean? Then it might put like a strain on the relationship with me and him. Not that we're in a relationship, but your friendship. So it's like it's a close call with some of these guys. Putting them on the channel or whatever. But I'll get Taylor from. So I should have posted pictures. My buddy Taylor, I sent it to Steven and Amir. I sent him pictures where he's playing with Lita Ford. You can look up Taylor Anderson on Google and you'll see him playing with Lita Ford and Kip Winger. But that's who the Dragon dude is friends with. That's how I guess I know him. He's out in LA. He was the one that was supposed to be in Quiet Riot. I'll get him on here. The next one I'll probably have on come on is maybe I'll get Carlos from Vi and Louis Fonsi on here. And then Patrick, I gotta get Patrick on here. Patrick's good. I probably could get Gabe from Lynch Mob on here too, since he's gonna be in the band with me. Maybe we'll do once the band's put together and everything. We'll do a live stream with the band. Yeah, I like Steve Stevens. Yeah, yeah, that's a little weird for me, dude. The girl singer with him. Why don't I ever interview Rick Beato? That wouldn't go well. As soon as he started making those funny faces, I'd have to, like, stop it. Come on, stop. That wouldn't go so good with me. I get a what's that? They have a charge for like when they shake babies. They come out with like a new law, the Beato Shake law. I'm introducing a new bill because of Jizzy. It's called the Beato Shake law. Then Bad Brad would actually jump all over that story. The Velvet Hammer says that Beato Shake very sexy. Oh man. Yeah, I've seen her too. But I, if you guys want to laugh, that Sparky Sin man, that guy crashes out constantly. I don't. This guy's so fake too. He's got like this fake sub counter, and it's like clicking one or two every second of subs he's getting. He went from like 45,000 up to 50,000, 51,000 in like a week. Yeah, okay. How are you getting him? Like I was watching him today, waiting for him to crash out. He had like 200 people on there, and he live streams for like 3 or 4 hours. And I clicked back on to see what he was doing. It was like down to 29 people watching him. I'm like, how are you get? Something ain't right with that. Yeah, you guys are jealous. I'm winning. I'm winning. And then they'll click the camera thing, and it's only subscribers only can comment. You guys got to watch him one time. especially if you drink, because that's some funny ass shit. Sparky Sin. More power to him. He is definitely entertaining. Entertaining as fuck. I like watching him. But it's like you're like in a you're like a grown ass man is dressing up. He's got this flying V that lights up, and he's got these space goggles on, and he's playing keyboards and sampling. Sparky Sin. Oh, what's up, Tennis Nuts? Uh, Are you watching me or Sparky Sin? You, the Atomic Punks are great too. Oh, you had to look up Bad Brad? He started with that Velvet Hammer accent, man. I was like, bro, you gotta stop that. Because it doesn't sound to me. You know who it sounds like? The Whalens. You remember from the Whalen Brothers? What are they called? Whalen Brothers from Fridays. Uh, the Whalens. The dad. That's who Bad Brad's accent sounds like to me. Wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here goes. The Velvet Hammer, yeah. The Wayans brothers. Yeah, the Wayans brothers' dad. That's who Bad Brad sounds like. The Velvet Hammer, say. Or Waterboy, the mom. Now you listen here. My, my mama said crocodiles are ornery. The Wayans, yeah. Velvet Hammer says there's something wrong with his medulla legato. John Witherspoon. Yeah. Yeah, the Wayans brothers. What was that show? He was in a lot of movies too. He always did those funny faces. Huh? Yeah, he had the Rico Beato faces and the Bad Brad accent. What? No, 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 no. You can't bring that around here. The Velvet Hammer say. Bad Brad does. Oh, auto text. Bad Brad does get a little foghorn, leghorn from time. Yeah, it's weird, dude. I'm like, it almost. It's like kind of like my kid was watching. He goes, "Is he racist?" He's 10. When you got 10-year-olds watching that next to you and they ask if it's racist, that can't be a good thing. You know what I mean? Because it's almost, it's not really a wrestling accent. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it is the guy at the mushroom jacket. Brad looks like that bad woman in the the Goodies movie. Abdullah Oblongata. There's something wrong with his Abdullah Oblongata. Oblongata. Gata. With his legato. He see now if he was gonna do that, he should do it, like funny. The Velvet Hammer says you got to put your fingers on the board and you gotta roll your hand back and forth. There's something wrong with your medulla legato. Like that would be funny. But the Velvet Hammer seriousness, that's stupid. I love the Water Boy in living color. Fire Marshal Bill. Yeah, not safe. He was funny as hell back then. Yeah, yeah. I loved Fire Marshal Bill. That was some funny shit too. My kid loves that movie Liar Liar, where he can't lie. From the Goonies. That's a funny. That's funny too. Racist against intelligence. And one of his videos popped up the other day. I don't know if he did it, but he had like a clip, and he had like a skinny face, and he was like kind of built. I was like, you don't look like that. You're AI. You're taking clips in AI in your picture now. What do you, what do you mean, John? You practice and practice, but your fingers won't move that fast? The mask was good too. I did a video a long time ago on stuff I used to practice for that. Like if you do stuff like if you can get that to sound smooth, all your fingers, so like you don't hit strings and you transition. That'll help you. Yeah, so the timing, so I do this for two things. It's to get my fingers to transition and keep timing. And then you go faster and faster. And then that kind of can transfer over to and then scales. And it could be the way you're holding. I cut my wrists a lot too. If you see, there's always a bow in my wrist so that my fingers are pointed straight down. Like that. You gotta cup your wrist. And that's why my thumb comes off and braces underneath. Yeah. Well, so this is a great point. Because Allison knows if you cup your wrist when you play piano, instead of laying your hands flat, the tips of your fingers will bow down better and hit the keys. You know what I mean? Now, that's exaggerated, but if your hands are flat, you have to bend your finger, but it's easier to bend your wrist and have all your fingers pointed. So that's the idea I use to bow. So the tips of my fingers are it's more accurate. And then you do stuff like that too. Jerry control is good. Well, that I was a pianist first. That was my main instrument. Yeah, so like I was used to playing piano and having my hands down with the cup. that carried over to into like people like Eddie Van Halen, cupping, bowing the picking. I can't pick like that and a lot of different exercises too. No, Serge never responded. He's not gonna respond. He had a fake account, was on Tone. What's his name? I told you guys about Tone. Dan. Dylan. Dylan talks Tone. He's like this. So he had a fake bot thing, but it was him. He's like, this YouTube shredder guy, Serge Drobin, says that scallop guitars were in the 1800s, and he thinks that it's a better made instrument because you. And I'm like, why would you even ask a question like that? You're just going on a big channel trying to get your name mentioned, and he spelled his own name wrong. He forgot the R, Doban, Serge Doban. I'm like, oh my god. But Dylan's funny. He just skipped right over the name. He goes, well, guitars were made like that in the 1800s. Some of them, yeah. And didn't even re-mention his name. That's like, oh my god. That's like me asking a question about myself. Hey, Rick, this jittboy guy, he can play like all these crazy things. Have you ever seen him? And how accurate do you got to be to move your hands like that? Jittboy? I don't know Jittboy. And then everyone's going to come and watch, right? Like a lot of people talk. Yeah, we're still here. A lot of these guys like to talk shit, I don't think they're going to talk shit as much anymore because, obviously Dave was on the channel. Kind of, I mean, how are you going to argue that? But, like if I really was trying to just make my channel something, I'd start fake accounts and go on like Rick Beato and Rhett Scholl and praise him and go, but I just watched this Jittboy. He's doing stuff I could never, like under a different name. A Chapman stick? Yeah. Yeah, I have scallop guitars. Yeah, that was, and Alice makes a good point about the way your fingers inverted. So that's why I was able to do a lot of the backwards licks, because on piano the way you play tends to be backwards on the guitar, so that ended up helping me with those weird licks where I had a huge advantage over the guys at GIT with creating that kind of stuff, doing the reversing. Because my hands were backwards. What's up, Mark? So I had an advantage to some of those licks because coming as a piano, like she's saying, your hands are turned around. So this way is this way. So, you're doing like backward stuff as opposed to this way. So I had a bigger advantage like that. And that helped me develop those crazy licks because I played piano for a long time. My grandmother was a classical pianist. So, able to do that easily because my hands can go both ways now. I got him and his and her hands. Those are my pronouns for my hands. My pronouns for my hands are blues, shredder. No. Yeah, Stanley's great. I watched him when he was he's playing. So like taking for Stanley Jordan. If you look at this lick here, right? And you do it more like the Eddie Van Halen. So I started taking the licks. So I get that from Stanley. I'm just tapping the octave of the same thing here. So that's where some of my tapping came from. Would Yngwie be good? I don't know. I guess so, because that means Richie Blackmore wouldn't have a scallop neck. And I don't think he had a scallop neck that whole time in Deep Purple. Yeah, piano came first for me, and then the guitar. But I started guitar early enough. So both my hands would go both ways. And that's where you can go backwards fast. You know what I mean? Yeah, his numbering is way out there. But again, he's playing like the jazz kind of stuff and everything. He's really good, but and who knows if he has a backer and paid Rick. Like, honestly, how do we know that these guys aren't paying Rick to get on his channel? All right, man. Eyes are blue. Peace out, brother. Yeah, I'm going to probably take off in the 5 minutes. I don't think he flies them. I think they pay him because he's got such a big channel now and I think some of it is fake. I think they're paying him. I think he's a plant. And I think that's how labels. I think the whole thing was a start from the beginning to get guys on there to make some of the older guys more valid again, and they pay him. They put him back in the limelight. Where's your next live? When? I don't know. I do them random. Usually I do them every Tuesday for sure. But I'll do I usually do a post a day of. tired. One last technical question: how to incorporate chromatic runs in the blues examples? I think the best way, if you're going to go chromatic, is start on a triad of the chord that you hit on. So let's say the chord is the progressive like. Let's see. Let's just do it. If it's A minor, I'm out of tune a little bit. So you get A, C, and E. And then you want to land on, say, like back on the E or a C. Depending on what it is. I would start on one of the triad notes of that chord or the key you're in. So if you're on A, the 5 to the 1. Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, the flat 5 I is okay. But if you're doing chromatics, the blues note, I would kind of stay away from the flat 5. I would use it more as a if you're gonna chromatic like that, throw the 5 of the D in there, like that. Kind of like that. You can, but you know, now if it's on a C, you know, you got to be careful because then that's the raise G, and then it starts to sound a little diminished depending on what you're landing on, what chord tone is actually being played. If you land on a D, there would sound good. So the flat 5 is okay if you're using the 5 or 1 in there. But you would have to resolve back to the chord tone. You always got to resolve to the chord tone. A 5 to the 1 sounds best, or a 3 to a 1. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, and you hit that A, and you're that 5 has the A. Yeah, you can land back on the E, like E7. And then go back to like a, you know, or you just want the tones in there to resolve. That's all. And I would, you know, you could start anywhere chromatic, but if so, I start on the D to the D because that's the chord I'm going to land on. Yeah. You need to resolve somewhere in the next chord. Or the 5 to that chord, to the 1 with the note. So if you got that 5 in the D is the 1 to the on the A. You know what I'm saying? And the 1 to the A goes back to the E. And then you got the B, which is the 5 to the E. It's also a circle of fifths, really. But that's how I would start it off. I start on the root of the chord I'm going to land on for the flat 5. But chromatic wise, I would just be anywhere. Like if it's G, like that, if I was to do the whole thing. All right, everybody, I'm going to take off, go to sleep, go see Glam Hippie. Not in that order. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on here. I'm glad I can help you out with whatever. And be on the lookout for War Pigs. Me, Dave the Beast, Patrick from Malmsteen, and Gabe from Lynch Mob. All right, everybody. Peace out. Have a great night. See you guys really soon. That almost sounds like the ending of a see you real soon. MOUSC. That's what it is. Mickey Mouse Club. All right, everybody. Peace out. Have a great weekend. You're with me. Cheers. Cheers. When you come into Canada, I'll have to ask him. Maybe we can get up there. I don't know. If we go to New York, maybe we can do a little trip up to Canada. With I don't know. You'd have to find somebody to help book us up in Canada. I don't know anyone in Canada. Peace out, everybody. Love you guys. Stay safe.